If your Caribbean cruise is calling at St Lucia, you're in for a treat. This island is one of the most dramatic and scenic stops in the region, but there are a few things you'll want to know to make the most of your day in port. The island can be overwhelming, there's so much to see, and not all of it is easy to get to in a single day. In this video, I'll share 10 things you really need to know about St Lucia as a cruise port, from how the terminal works, to the pitons, beaches, markets, and the best ways to spend your precious hours ashore. I've cruised the Caribbean multiple times, including 2 cruises on P&O Britannia, where St Lucia was a highlight. So everything here is based on first-hand experience. Let's start with the port itself. Because where your ship docks in Castries can really shape your day, cruise ships dock at one of 2 terminals. Point Seraphine is a larger shopping village, about a 10-minute walk from the center of town, with duty-free stores, small cafes, and plenty of taxis waiting outside. This is where the P&O ships Britannia and Avia dock normally. It is also where the infamous Rum Therapy bar is. More on that later. La Place Carénage, on the other hand, is right in the middle of Castries. You literally step off the ship into the heart of the city. Both are convenient, but taxis and tours can get very busy if several ships are in port. Pro tip: US dollars are accepted everywhere, but change often comes in Eastern Caribbean dollars, so bring smaller bills. One thing that sets St Lucia apart straight away from other Caribbean islands is just how dramatic the landscape is. Unlike flat islands like Aruba or Bonaire, St Lucia is mountainous and covered in lush rainforest. The roads are winding and steep. Expect hairpin bends, climbs, and spectacular views. The island feels much more adventurous than some Caribbean ports. But bear in mind travel times. The Pitons and Sulphur area can take up to 90 minutes each way from Castries. Pro tip: if you get motion sickness, bring tablets. Even short drives to Reduit Beach or Pigeon Island involve hills and bends. The Pitons are the icons of St Lucia, and no visit feels complete without seeing them. The Gros and Petit Piton are UNESCO listed and rise straight out of the sea. The most popular way to see them is on a catamaran cruise, which usually sails south from Castries, stops for swimming and snorkelling, and passes Marigot Bay along the way. I did this trip, and it was one of my favorite excursions in the Caribbean. On the way back, the crew turned up the music, rum punch was flowing, and you sail right past your cruise ship with everyone dancing on deck. If you want those classic St Lucia photos, this is the excursion to book. Pro tip: if you're really adventurous, you can hike Gros Piton, but it's strenuous and usually takes 5 to 6 hours round trip, not practical on a cruise call unless you've got an overnight. If you're after something truly unique, the Sulphur Springs and mud baths are a must-do. They are often included as part of an island tour. The Sulphur Springs are the world's only drive-in volcano. Here, you can literally drive into the crater, where steam vents and bubbling pools show the island's volcanic heart. Most tours include time at the hot mineral baths and the mud pools, where you can cover yourself in grey volcanic mud that locals say has healing and anti-aging properties. Most organized tours combine Sulphur Springs with a beach stop, or the Pitons. Do keep in mind it's about a 90-minute drive each way, so it's a long but memorable day out. Of course, sometimes you just want a beach day, and St Lucia has some brilliant options close to Castries. Vigy Beach is the nearest, just 5 minutes by taxi, with soft sand and calm waters. You can also walk there in about 30 minutes. Reduit Beach, about 20 minutes from Castries in Rodney Bay, is one of the island's most popular stretches of sand, and you'll see why when you arrive. It's a wide golden beach with calm, swimmable water and plenty of facilities. There are restaurants, beach bars, water sports rentals, and even inflatables offshore for families. I found it a great spot to spend a few hours if you want a beach day with everything on hand, and it's lively without ever feeling overwhelming. The whole Rodney Bay area also has shops, a marina, and nightlife, so it's ideal if you want a beach day with plenty of things around you. My personal favorite, though, was Pigeon Island Beach. It's part of the national park, so there's a small entry fee, but you get a quieter, scenic setting with calm water. On my overnight call, I spent a day here. and it was the perfect way to relax after a busy day of excursions. If you fancy a cocktail or a beer, there's even a speedboat that pulls up to the beach, acting as a floating bar, where you can buy a cold drink. It's quirky and fun, and makes the day feel that bit more special. Beyond the beach, Pigeon Island itself is worth exploring. You can climb to the ruins of Fort Rodney, where you'll get panoramic views of both the Caribbean and Atlantic sides of St Lucia. The hike is short, but steep, and good shoes are helpful. The history is fascinating, with old cannons and fortifications, and the photos from the top are spectacular. It's a great half-day option if you don't want to spend all your time in the car or on the beach. Described by many as the most beautiful bay in the Caribbean, Marigot Bay is ringed by hillsides and dotted with yachts. And it really lives up to the hype, ringed by steep green hills, dotted with yachts, and with a tiny sandy beach. It feels like a film set. You can reach it by taxi or boat, but the best views are from the water. Another reason why that catamaran cruise is so popular. If you love snorkeling, head to Anse Chastanet. It's one of the island's top spots for coral reefs and colourful tropical fish. The beach itself is volcanic sand, but the underwater world is the real draw. It's a bit of a journey from Castries, so best done as part of a tour or with a private driver. But it's well worth the effort if you want a proper snorkel day. Back in the capital, Castries Market is the place to experience everyday island life. It's lively, noisy, and full of stalls selling spices, fruit, and souvenirs. The best time to visit is in the morning when the produce section is busiest and full of local life. But later in the afternoon, it becomes more souvenir-focused. Do be prepared to haggle a little, and always bring cash. Most stalls don't take cards. Bargaining is expected, but it's always done with a smile. And finally, one of the easiest but most fun things to do is right at the cruise terminal. Rum Therapy Bar is legendary among cruise passengers for its atmosphere and for serving the strongest rum punch on the island. It has karaoke, and it's a brilliant way to end your day before walking back to the ship. On my overnight stop, this was the liveliest place in port after dark. Just pace yourself. That rum punch really is powerful, and I have seen many underestimate how strong the rum punch is and need help back to the cruise ship. Excursions in St Lucia usually range from £30 to £90 per person. Private tours are popular and good value if you're in a group, as you can combine the Pitons, Sulphur Springs, and a beach. One thing to note is traffic. Roads back into Castries can get clogged, so always allow extra time to return to the ship. So those are 10 things you need to know about St Lucia as a cruise port. But here's the thing. Every island is different, and planning your time well can make or break your cruise. I've built a Caribbean Ports of Call playlist with guides already up for Barbados, Antigua, and Bonaire, and plenty more to come. Click on screen now to watch the series and get ready to plan your perfect Caribbean cruise.